Uber, Lyft, and other gig economy companies clinched a major win with the passage of Proposition 22. That California ballot measure says that they do not have to classify their workers as company employees. NBC News tech correspondent Jacob Ward explains how Prop 22 could impact those independent workers.
In California, gig economy companies have written a new law to suit themselves, spending the most money ever on a California ballot proposition, passing last week with 58% of the vote. Companies like Uber, Lyft, and Instacart spent more than $200 million to gather support for Proposition 22, which exempts them from a 2019 law that would have turned their drivers into employees.
The alternative to inaction was very bad for drivers. Very bad for riders, very bad for the economy in a pandemic.
And bad for your company.
And bad for our company.
Some labor experts worry that this is the beginning of the end of worker protections.
Prop 22 is probably the most dangerous labor law that has been passed or voted on in my lifetime. They've sort of taken a desire that companies have had for, since capitalism began, which is to keep labor costs as low as possible.
The new law guarantees 120% of minimum wage while a driver has a passenger. And Lyft co-founder John Zimmer says it gives drivers what they want.
Drivers on a 6-to-1 margin prefer being an independent contractor to an employee, but also we're able to add benefits for independent contractors for the first time.
Right.
So healthcare benefits and disability benefits and protections and insurance that we weren't able to provide before without making individuals employees.
What drivers don't get is paid time off, sick days, or unemployment insurance. That could save these companies 20% on employee costs. And as independent contractors, legal challenges will be more difficult than they are for employees.
Protecting their flexibility and providing historic new benefits are what we're fighting for.
Steve Gregg says he doesn't feel protected.
I feel manipulated and exploited. I don't feel spoken for.
Gregg did 16,000 rides as a full-time driver for Uber and Lyft until the pandemic hit.
Well, I love the work because I just fell in love with the human race doing this. And I stayed a driver for a while, despite the decreases in pay.
He says that Proposition 22 will make it impossible to earn a living driving full-time.
They're trying to push it down into a minimum wage job. You should get paid by tips.
Driver pay has fallen for years, and the companies still aren't profitable. But Lyft gained $1.8 billion in market value the day after Proposition 22 passed.
Is it fair to have companies like yours essentially setting labor law across the country?
No, it's not the role of a company to set labor law. I wish you could get all money out of politics and just have good conversations. But there's money on both sides. There's influence on both sides.
Although, let's be fair, the pro forces spent more than $200 million on Prop 22. The con forces spent not even $20 million.
Yeah, if you look at it that way, that's fair.
Will you do this in other states?
This is a new way of getting flexibility that people want with a great set of benefits. So absolutely, I think that the next step is to work with politicians, regulators, drivers, and potentially labor leaders, hopefully, across the country to bring this to more places.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.